So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next thing, which this was a new segment we had it last week, and it went over so well. We're gonna do it again, and that would be called Celebrity Character Sheets. And the way this works is we take a person who is a celebrity, and we do a character sheet based off that person. However, we decided to expand it a little bit to also fictional characters. So it can be a living celebrity or a fictional character.
Why don't we do fucking Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks?
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks? Oh,
shit, what a fucking character.
I'm down for that. That's a great one.
It's almost too easy.
It's almost too easy.
And Blake, you make things up. That's the greatest thing about D&D too, is it's all just fucking nerds making shit up. So even if you don't know the rules, just pretend. Because it doesn't fucking matter.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And like we already have a discount because Sam is like an older generation of D&D than I am. So a lot of our like the things that we say, like me and him like are talking almost two different languages sometimes. So it doesn't really matter if you don't know the exact nomenclature. Just
I'm also kind of like a baby too. So like I just started out like last year. So like I know nothing.
John.
Cool. All right.
I'm a fucking repository of knowledge about it. But
yeah, he's a legitimate licensed SDM, so he knows all the shit. So let's start off with race and class. What do we got? Obviously, elf. Mm-hmm.
It would
Wood elf.
Wood elf.
Probably a wood elf. She leans towards that, and she seems ageless for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And she would be like a druid wizard. I feel like.
Is there?
Does she have one of the 7 rings?
She could have one of the
rings.
She could.
I mean, if she kicked it with Galadriel, I'd be like, yeah, totally makes sense. I don't know if I would go just druid though, because like once again, this goes back into the bardic stuff. Like she's an enchanter. She's an old, and she's a whole witch. I'd give her like a sorceress bard. I feel like she would kick it with the druids. But I think because I feel like she is way more of like an enchantress. Druids don't do a lot of like illusions and enchanting and charms.
No, she's definitely got enchantress down on the map. That makes sense. And I feel like that's more of a supplemental job class. Like mainly what would be like the main class? Like I know it like druid sounds right, but also wizard sounds right. Bard is kind of right, but also not really. She almost doesn't fit into every she fits in those categories but doesn't fit in every one of those categories.
Let me start. Is she a good guy or a bad guy?
I think she's neutral. I think she's like true neutral.
Everybody seems to we always pick neutral people.
No, I think I think she's chaotic good. I think she's a chaotic good individual.
She's good. I get like a real Hansel and Gretel vibe.
You just really want her to be eating kids in the woods.
I want her to be eating kids. I just feel like she's so powerful. She's too much. She's too powerful.
She doesn't look like the kind that would eat kids in the forest, though. That's not her MO.
Absolutely corrupts, you know?
She's more like she's kind of like the person who she's like a magic scientist, basically. I feel like she's the one who's like deep in the forest trying to come up with like new magic to like help out the world or something.
Maybe she's a guardian of a well of power, you know?
So she's Galadriel. She's Galadriel. Yeah. She's just basically like living in Lothlorien, giving fucking magic trinkets to hobbits. And she looks in the pond and she's like, I could become an evil queen, but she doesn't. She's good. That's
you might want to eat kids, like have like that little slight thought in the back of her mind. You know, maybe a kid would taste good, and then she's like, "Oh no, I shouldn't."
I would go. Maybe I guess I could lean into druids a little bit for like the psychotic, like Dionysus style, like partying and drug
use. There's definitely a pagan aspect to her character. I feel like
maybe she's an old god. Maybe she's an old god of music. Less of like a character, more leaning back into more like NPC style. Maybe she's like an old god of music and partying.
So backstory on this then. She was a god, decided she got bored as fuck hanging out amongst the clouds or whatever the fuck she does. Or on some different plane, decides, you know what, I'm gonna go slum it with the humans and the elves and everything else. And then she realized, holy shit, these guys know how to party. I'm gonna hang out here for a while. And so she decides to create these like magical musical instruments that basically just automatically rages out into a party no matter where you're at, basically. And all the bards look at her as a god.
She's
a
Tasha.
bardic god.
She's the bardic god.
It's like there's a bunch of spells that from a ancient wizard called Tasha, and she's the one that has like Tasha's hideous laughter and whatnot, to where like you cast these spells and people cannot stop like laughing or dancing or doing different things, which is a lot of fun. I just want to make her a bad guy. I just want to write up more fucking bad
she
guys.
could be a fallen god. So like maybe one time during a party, somebody stole one of her trinkets from her past life as a god. And then that turned her into like a fallen character. And that's when she starts eating kids.
What's that?
In the
fucking
forest.
Jimmy Avini?
And she punishes them by making them drink cranberry juice. I got
Exactly.
you, Cranberry Company. I got you.
We call that a callback. That's good. That's like her system of currency that's like if you bring her goods, you bring her like bowls of cranberries. That is like the only gift she accepts.
So many bowls of cranberry juice.
Well, because it's the cranberry juice that she like transmogrifies into her power. So she's powered by salty, gross ass cranberry juice.
I'm not opposed. How would you use her in a campaign? You already know.
Well, I think she would bring everyone together with the cranberry juice, playing her awesome music, and then once she has all of them in her place, she just annihilates all of them, and then she rules the world. It's the only.
That's what I'm talking about, man. This guy fucking gets it.
It does. Game over.
Gods are vengeful, and they don't care about mortals, man.
I'd use her like I'd probably like I've never DM'd before, but like I'd like have her start off as people thinking she's a good god, and then as the campaign continues, it's like she's kind of like influencing, and then like suddenly like there's clues to like her being not a good guy, and then like once the whole party realizes they've been duped, like that's when shit gets real. No. And she has her little like cranberry elven minions come after you.
Little cranberries running after you.
Or even better yet, like she starts off as a good person, like a good dude, right, or whatever. And as she's traveling, like she's basically hearing all of her parties are fucking lame and shit. So she like starts going insane because all she wants to do is throw awesome parties. So now she thinks she's just lame as fuck.
That's more the direction I would go. I would say more she's as she fell, like so she was like this old god of music and partying and all these things. And in her prime, like she was worshipped and loved. Came down to live with the mortals, and then she keeps hearing people redo her songs really shitty, and she gets like angry about it because people are covering her shit, and people have lost the true beauty of what Fleetwood Mac was. And Stevie Nicks now is that she's angry, and so now when bards come to like get favor from her, if they try to cover her music and do it shitty like everyone does, she destroys them.
That's great.
She's just mad. That. And maybe she's trying to get back her divinity, and the only way to do that.
Like an offering. You have to give an offering, and she forces you to sing one of her songs, and if she doesn't like it, you're dead.
Like a Medusa thing almost.
I'd use that in a heartbeat. I love that. I'm all about that. An angry music god who, if
you roll a 1 and you're fucked.
Yeah, she eats it.
I love that. That's a great tie right there.
That's a good little fallen god. I could use that character. I'll throw that character in there.
So in terms of like magic and feature use, what do you think she would like use to attack or to fuck with people?
I mean, it'd be the same as like it's almost the same as last week. I think she would use these illusory or charm effects and whatnot, and lots of like enchantments. I mean, she's a god of music. She enchants you with her music, brings you in, and then basically like nullifies you and makes you believe whatever she says until like she brings the truth out of you. And if you're a shitty bard and doesn't like curry enough favor, then you don't earn life. And she takes your magical prowess from you and eats your ability. I
think we could go more Mars Attacks with it, where it's like the John Denver song is like literally blowing people's head, like blowing aliens' heads up as it rolls around, you know? Like that's how I see it. She's just like singing, and it just
hits a high note, and then just head explodes.
Yeah, except when the head explodes, it's not blood. It's cranberry juice.
Yeah.
It's fucking cranberry juice.
Fucking cranberry juice. Okay, so to wrap this up, 0 out of 10. How bad is this bad guy? Or actually, how character-y is this character? Like, how much would you want this?
Oh, I'd love her as a character. 100%. So 10 for me. Give me Stevie Nicks in my campaign.
I think it's very specific. I'm gonna go like it's like 6.5, 7 out of 10, just because I need a very specific reason to utilize her. She, of course, the campaign, the one shot, the Kanye West and the Land of the Sirens campaign. Then she would fit into that campaign. I could use her to curry favor against a musical bad guy.
Even better.
But if you think about it, her ultimate ability is that she makes people's head explode and it turns into cranberry juice, and that's a one-hit kill wonder. So, like, you can't top that, right?
Yeah, well, for sure.
I mean, what if somebody...
Stevie Nicks has never been referenced with One Punch Man ever in the world until now, by the way.
When she goes Super Saiyan, she sprays out diet cranberry juice, and that just messes everybody up.
It's over.
Okay. Now
That's Dragon Ball Z. That has nothing to do with it.
Now the last thing before we move on. The Kanye West Murder Choir versus the Enchantress Stevie Nicks. Who wins?
Ooh. I mean, I feel like she can make people's heads explode.
What's going on with Kanye?
Okay, so last episode we did this with Kanye West, and he ended up having like an entire murder choir, and it was amazing. So it's Kanye West and his murder choir versus Stevie Nicks, the Enchantress, god of music. Who wins?
I think Stevie wins every time.
Yeah, she's
know.
A god.
Yeah, fallen god or not, like she wins that.
Yeah, but couldn't the argument be that Kanye is Jesus? So isn't he technically one?
That was a part of the thing. Is the part of it last week was that he's a super powerful psychotic.
He's part of the Trinity, yo.
But she's a bardic god, though. So I mean, shit, how this could happen is like she destroys his army of sirens in the murder choir because they're not good enough, but his music is good enough for her not to be able to blow his head up, and then they might duke it out and fight and shit, and then I don't know if he defeats her or not, or maybe they come to an understanding, and then maybe he ascends to take her place in the pantheon as a god.
And then he comes on his next, hip-hop record as a feature.
I don't want to give Kanye West that much credit. Get the fuck out of here.
So this glorious battle happens, right? And then Kanye's like on his knees, and he just looks at her. I'm gonna let you finish.
That's a cinematic event right there.
That is.
That's
that
good,
is.
Baby. Endgame. Holy crap! This turned into something that didn't need to be a thing, but is now a totally thing, and I love it.
Well, when we play our game, it's not gonna go that way. I tell you that. Yeah.